Welcome to Podcast with Magnoni. Today is a special edition. Why is it special? Because this episode is the first one that I'm interviewing a woman. Imagine. So yeah, but it is what it is. I think everything has a time. Every feminist that I was calling wasn't coming forth. So I think let's do this one. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be good. My guest today is Happiness. Welcome, Happy.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to this show. So I think we have been talking about so many things, but I'm so interested specifically to know more about your life because what I know about you from school and who you are now probably is a completely different person. I thought you would be a teacher by now. What happened?
Life happened.
I thought you would be a teacher by now. So surprisingly, no. What is happening? How have you been?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for having me. And I feel honored to be the first female. Yes. The future is female.
Yes. The future is female. Yeah.
Yeah. So after school,
Yeah.
so I studied Bachelor of Arts Education, and I was supposed to be a teacher. And after school, I was working with this private institution.
Yeah.
It's more like an NGO.
Yeah.
They have their orphanage and they have the private school. So it's like both ends, doing home-based care,
Yeah.
orphanhood, and school. So I was teaching there. While there, I was working there, waiting for the government to call forth interviews for teachers.
Yeah.
Because our cohort, that was the time when the government started shortlisting teachers via interviews. It was automatic. Yeah. So I was waiting as I was working there, and while I was there, there was an opportunity from GIZ Malawi.
Yeah.
The wanted facilitators.
Yeah.
There was a program called Farmer Business School.
Yeah.
So I applied.
Yeah.
And after I got shortlisted, I was successful, and I've been working with GIZ since 2017 as a consultant.
Wow.
In their Farmer Business School program. So when my friends were being called for the teaching service, I was that
You were
side.
busy with an international organization.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Making the money.
Yeah. So it was like I've been with GIZ since 2017 up until last year, 2021, when the project was from 2017 to 2021.
Yeah.
And after 2021, I stayed for some, I think 2 months.
Yeah.
And then I got another job from Forgotten Voices International, where I'm working now. So that's what happened.
You're an international lady. That's what I'm getting here. She is international. I think this is amazing. Because you see, what happens at school is every time people think about whatever program you're doing, they think you're going to end up in the line of that program. So if you're doing, let's say, biomedical sciences, you're going to be at a hospital. If you're doing education, you're going to be a teacher. If you're doing theology, as I was doing, you're going to end up to be a pastor. But yeah, life happens, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, but what has been happening with you? Because you see, I knew you in school. I was following you on social media. I knew that stuff was happening. I think I saw a bit of a GIZ somewhere. But I think there was a time that you were MIA.
Yeah.
You were missing in action. I couldn't see you anywhere. I remember there was a time I wanted to reach out, but I couldn't find you.
Yeah.
I only found you, CC. Your friend, Ruth, no, because I think you guys were 3, right?
Yeah, we were 3.
Yeah, in your crew. Yeah. What happened?
Okay, so after college, after we had graduated, I had a condition. The condition affected my everything, the whole of me.
Wow.
Like it's called thyrotoxicosis, they call it. The medical guys can understand
Even
better.
the name is difficult. It's hard to understand.
Yeah, so my thyroid gland was affected. That's what they say. My thyroid gland was affected because it was producing more hormones than the ones required. So that condition affected my sight. It affected my my metabolism. My metabolic levels were just higher than required. So I was sick for close to 2 years. That's why I went missing in action, as you put it. Yeah, so that's what happened, because I couldn't function properly. I couldn't walk properly. Sometimes I could fall on the road. Sometimes my hair was just, I was losing my hair. That's when I started putting on the glasses, as you can see, because it affected also my sight. So I couldn't just go public because everyone was like, what's happening to your hair? Are you the same? Sometimes I could pass by people and I could know that they haven't recognized me. So, saying hi. So they'll be like, who's this? And I had to go missing in action because of that. Afterwards,
I'm so sorry, man.
That
was heavy, huh? Like 2 years of sickness, continuous sickness, and then you're not functioning properly. You're dealing with so many things. No, that's heavy.
It is.
Yeah. So, but what happened for you to get well? Like, you met some doctors. What happened?
Okay, so this week I was telling you about the first one, the teaching job at this private institution. I went there. As I told you, it's an orphanage. So sometimes they have volunteers from the States. So there was a certain lady, American lady who came. And after she came, we used to interact. And she noticed that I had the condition. And she was like, I think I know this condition. A certain friend of mine had it also in the US. And she gave me suggestions that I should go to my Watu or Adventist. Because by then I was going to the public hospitals, and you know what they do. They were just
crazy here, huh?
Treating me as an outpatient, giving me medication, like blood pressure medication, diabetes medication. So I was just going there now and again, but they couldn't tell me what it is and what it was and how it is supposed to be dealt with. So this lady opened my eyes, and I communicated with my family, and they were like, okay, we should go to Adventist or my what. And I opted for Brand Adventist Hospital. And once I went there, the very same day, before I could tell the specialists what the problem was, they knew it. They were like, this is, if you have the money, we need to have the surgery as soon as possible. That's what he said.
How much did the surgery cost?
I think it was close to 600,000. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think it was close to 600,000. And he told us we need to book for the surgery. We can't wait any longer. So they had it. They had the thyroid gland removed. And that was it. And afterwards, after the surgery, the worst thing happened, because we were expecting that I would be better, as the specialist said, but it got worse because they said it was the major surgery and the body was supposed to get used to the new me now. So for my organs to start functioning properly to get used to the surgery. I was just on and off the hospital, on and off, up until now.
You are a miracle.
I am a miracle.
You are a miracle. Honestly, you are a miracle. You were asking me about, like we were talking about my little one, Sama. You're like, it's a nice name. I told you that there's a story, because my little one also was born in a miracle kind of format. I have a story somewhere I kept for that, but I knew that. There are people who pass through situations like this, who become something else. And I think you are, in my context, you are, and I think you are a miracle, honestly. But okay, this is the feeling that everyone has. If I'm on my deathbed, something happened like this, you had to go through a major surgery for you to become better and something. What were you thinking about life at the particular time?
I was thinking about, like all my dreams were gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't see myself the way I used to see myself in college.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when I was in college, I used to write.
Yeah.
I used to be a public person. I used to interact with people. But
you were happiness by.
I know,
Come
right?
on, you were yeah.
But then when that thing came, when the condition came, honestly, I lost it all.
Yeah.
I lost it all. And you know how sometimes you expect people to be there for you and they're not. Doesn't mean like they don't love you, but they're also engaged. And that was a time when people were busy looking for jobs, like my type, my peers. They were busy looking for jobs. My family had to be sourcing money for my well-being as well. So I was expecting people to be there for me. Not that they don't love me, but I felt like it wasn't enough. So I was in that you know, that moment when you just feel like you're alone.
Yeah.
You're not catching up. Your friends are out there, they're working, they're doing things. You're not. You're just stuck in the hospital. For you, it's just one checkup after the other, one checkup after the. So that's what was happening to. I was like, this is the end of me. I can't do anything. I can't work. People can't recognize me.
Yeah.
This is me now. So it gave me a different definition of who I am.
Who you are. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happened. That's what I was thinking when I was in that sick bed.
Because, you know, I learned about your situation not entirely as I'm getting it right now. Because I'm equally shocked.
Yeah.
I wish I knew. But I know that probably it was the best decision that you guys did in your family. You felt like if we are going to talk about it, sometimes it can cause a lot of people just hitting on your door and you feel like I'm the only sick person around here.
Yeah.
It doesn't work perfectly. But you wrote a status on Facebook and I think I felt it. And I don't know if I contacted you after I read it. You say that you were on a deathbed sort of, and then there were people that you never expected, that you saw in college that were people would look at them as outcasts in some way. But these are the people that were coming, checking on you, giving you the encouragement, giving you the reminder that you are worth living.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That's right.
What was your lesson around that? Okay,
so as I told you that those ones that I expected to be there, some of them were not. So there was these guys, honestly, I thought they were not my type.
Yes.
You know, when you're like, this is my type, this is not. And being a Christian, sometimes we misjudge.
We judge other people these guys are not Christianic.
You know? So when I remember I wrote on Facebook, the moment after the surgery, I wrote on Facebook that I thank God I'm out of the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And this guy DM'd me the very moment, asking me the whereabouts. I thought it was just, you know,
checking
what
without
Facebook excitement, you know. So he came. He had to contact the guardians and he came. He used to come almost now and again. And with his friends, they could come. And tell you what, this is the guy who knew that I used to write while in college.
But
I remember
we were in college and we never knew that you were writing like that. But
I don't even know how he noticed, because I remember I was in this writers forum while in college, and he saw some of my writings. I think so. I choose to believe so. So he told my sister this moment when he came. Yeah. He told my sister she used to write. You should be writing. I was like, oh, okay. So you're a good writer. You should be writing. And that's one of the reasons that I was gaining my sense of worth. I was regaining my sense of worth. Yeah. And honestly, this person is one of my the people that motivated me to write this book that we're going to be talking about in the next few minutes. And you know why? It just came from a point when you were judging people and they had to come through for you and restoring your sense of worth. You know, defying all the odds, like you.
And talking about worth, you know, in a time like this, and I think I heard something that is so profound, honest, around the sense of worth. The times that you feel like you don't deserve life, right? Yes. You see those moments, right? Like people like, I feel like I don't deserve life like that. I don't deserve it all. I think my life is not worth a living. That particular time, that stage of life is the worst.
Yeah,
is the worst, and I think the only way to deal with it is when you have God and that kind of memory that you're gonna be better, you're gonna be doing life more and more through that. But yeah, that reminds me about even the conversation of suicide.
Yeah.
You know, when people are thinking about killing themselves and the like, at that particular time, they have lost their sense of worth.
Yes.
You know, you can have all the achievement. And people wonder that this person is rich, they have all this, they're going out there in trips and all those adventures, but they're killing them. Why? Sometimes the sense of worth matters. Do you have it? And I think that's a profound lesson from this person who used to come through to check on you and to give you that, because you needed that at a particular time.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes as ladies, we think maybe they just want to get away with it. There's something behind it. But you know what this guy used to do? He could come with his girlfriend, with it, just to show that I'm just here for you. It's just you.
Yes.
I'm just being caring, you know?
Yes.
And honestly, it changed my whole perspective, because
people,
most of the times I thought, guys, they can just come to see you.
Yeah, they can just care. Huh?
And that's what opened my eyes to just befriend anyone, you know, regardless.
Yeah, I think the culture in Malawi is quite strange, specifically when it comes to male and female relationships, right? Every time there's that relationship that people are talking, there's always the sexual element always come without thinking that people can be friends without anything else. And I think that you learned a lot, huh?
I did. And I thank God for the sickness, because I learned a lot.
You learned a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Amazing. But yes, he gave you the sense of you thinking about writing and your worth around it. And he talks about the book that we have here. An amazing book. So yes, we have a book here. It's called Behind Landlocked Gates.
Yes.
Sounds so Christian. Sounds like a declaration.
Like why? Where?
Sounds like a declaration. Like beyond landlocked gates. Amazing. But I can see notable faces here. I can see the Minister of Gender, Dr. Patricia Kariati. I can see Suitcase from HD Plus. The other guys. Yeah. And the author Happiness Chinangwa, amazing. You have authored a book.
Yes.
But this is huge. Come on, I was listening to this other person. Like, you go to an interview and you're talking about your knowledge about other things, and the other people will be like, no, I wrote in a journal, or I have an article, a blog on my website, and you just produce your book. There's a total difference, right? I hear about that. But this is huge, honestly. This is huge. This is amazing. You came back from your deathbed and you wrote a book, Behind Landlocked Gates.
Yes.
Amazing. What inspired you to do this?
All right. Thank you. That's a very good question. I told you earlier on that I used to work with GIZ as an external consultant for them. So I used to travel to remote areas, the hard to reach areas, to do the job. So after work every day, I could just roam around the communities, see what people do, how people are doing life, and how youths do in
those remote areas.
And one thing used to start to me like, okay, we come from the urban areas, and we have role models, and we have the privilege to go to conferences. We have smartphones. We can Google. We see what's happening on the other side. And these people, the only role models close to them are irresponsible parents. And sometimes they think life starts after one has retired from their jobs. So who motivates them when they want to do great? Who motivates them? And when I was thinking about that, I could look at myself and see how I was raised. I thank God I had a mom who was a civil servant and a dad who was also a civil servant. So they used to tell us how it is to be in college, you know. And I remember my mom bought. We had like a poster. It had. I also talked about this at my book launch. So those who came remember the story. So she had a poster. On the poster was photos of Chancellor College graduates. Wow. So it had a caption written Ashinyamada Tadidan Chanzo Chatu. So every time she would tell us stories about college, she could show us that.
Wow,
you know, this is
huge.
Look at. So every time I'm writing exams, I'll be like, okay, if I fail, I won't be on that poster. And so, because I thought everyone who has graduated, they have their poster.
Oh, that's like a college book or something that people can always access.
That's what I was thinking. And then I remembered that when I was in the field, and I would who motivates these people. They don't have access. They also don't have parents who are privileged like mine were. And that could stick to me. I mean, that would strike me so hard, and I'll be like, okay, what can I do about this? I can't bring in role models here because it's costly.
To do that,
what can I do? All I have is a pen and a paper. That's what I have, and the skill to write. Wow. I think a book can reach where I cannot. How? Why can't I just bring in some people who have stories worth inspiring someone, who have motivational stories? I can bring them together, write their stories, and then come up with a book out of their stories and distribute the book. God willing, we'll donate to who cannot.
So this is the essence of the whole thing.
Yes.
When I was reading the book, for me, it was more of a... I didn't read it. I didn't read the book. I was so busy. I was traveling, so don't worry about this. I didn't read the book. But what I'm hearing here is so profound. What you did, all these people you provide here, is basically the same story that your mom told you about people who are successful. And reminded you every time you're making a decision to say, I need to think like this, right? And then you did the same here. You profiled people with their unique stories so that you can motivate those that are in those places where you can't reach them.
Yes.
Amazing. Come on, you need to. Is this in Chichewa? This has to go in Chichewa. Come on, this is huge.
We need to work on that.
This is huge. I'm telling you. Because yes, this is cost effective. One book. These kids will be reading in their library, maybe even one book in a school. People are reading about real life stories of people that are there. Amazing. I can see here Great Road.
Gangada. That's my sister.
Amazing. Esa Uganyenda. Yes. So apparently I was about to have something with Esa Uganyenda. I hope he checks this one out so that we would have this one. But this is amazing. I see Suke's here. I see the rest of the guys, Patricia Kaliati, and the rest of the stories. Come on, this is amazing.
Thank you so much.
This is huge.
Thank you so much.
No, I like this. I really do. I really do.
Thank you.
Cool. So what next? You have this platform. You have the stories. You can encourage someone in the community. What next for you?
Concerning the book
project. Concerning the book,
Okay, all right.
What's happening?
Okay.
What's happening in your writing? This is your sense of worth. Your value. What is happening?
Yeah. So what's happening now is I'm on a partnership, so to say, with the Minister of Gender herself. Honorable Patricia Kaliati.
I've seen your statuses. I've seen you meeting the minister like she's a friend. You're taking pictures. Writing on a bag. Like,
so we're working on a project. We want because she's also an author. She authored a book. It was launched last year in April. Yeah, she participates. It's about life in the streets for the street kids and all that. So once I was the day my book was launched. I had a meeting with Ben Mankamba.
The artist, and the chief, and
the
all
chief,
that.
So Ben Mankamba is also one of the models in the book.
Great.
And then he was inspired after hearing what motivated me to write the book, and he opened. He has a cultural center.
I've ever gone there. It's an amazing place.
They also have a library there. He was asking if there was a way that we could have some of the books donated there, because the library covers about 7 schools.
Amazing.
So I had a conversation with the minister. She was like, okay, we need to donate our books, yours and mine, to schools like these who cannot afford to buy. So we are working on that. Of course it's in the pipeline, but we're in consultations with Plan International. So we're yet to have a meeting. They told me last month that we might have a meeting to discuss about this, so that the books can get to, because my passion is for the book to get to who cannot afford to buy it. So we want more people to sponsor the printing of more copies of the books.
So if people are checking this, how much if they to print something? So for instance, I'm a believer of community development. I believe that in community, that's where real development happens. That's where people are really finding these challenges, and then real development happens there. Can be easily seen. If someone needs to replicate this, how much does replicating one of this book cost?
10,000. So
10,000. So if I can donate, let's say 100,000, that 100,000 there will be 10 people.
That's what people are doing. There's a certain lady from, was it Geneva? She heard the story from one of the guest speakers. She posted about what inspired me to write the book. She sent them, and I've never met her. She sent the money and she bought for six students. We had to send it to Nambuma. In Doha.
Wow.
So that's what people are doing.
That's huge. I think I need to think about my my primary school and then send them there.
Yes, so you need to do that.
If you're looking forward to inspiring people in the communities, Facebook, Beyond Landlocked Gates, so that people can read about the real life stories of people that really overcome, right? Real life challenges. And then you want to inspire your primary school or your secondary school. So you want to inspire kids that are there now. You can do this. You can partner with Happy and make sure that you get this to that community. Come on, this is amazing. Like, I know people who write books, they just want to make money around it, which is okay. But your thoughts are quite like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I've known you, but I never knew that you had something crazy and so thoughtful like this.
Also, to talk about the title.
Yes.
So it's Behind Landlocked Gates. You know how Malawi, we call it a landlocked country.
Yes, it's a landlocked country.
We are landlocked and we are disadvantaged in various aspects, you know. So I also wanted to expose the great minds behind this landlocked nation, you know. That's why I had to choose those. Even I wanted someone to know that even from the school without desks, from the school without a scientific laboratory, I can still do it.
Come on.
They can know that, okay, if this one had to pass through this road and here they are here now, what about me? I can do it.
I can still do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, Happy, your story is, I don't know. I think I'm emotional, so I don't want to talk about it anymore. But I know that when you're passing through stuff like that, right? You always want to have everyone on your back. And for people like us who never knew about it, honestly, I feel bad. I feel like if I was there to check on you and to keep you in the prayers, honestly. But thank God you're perfect, you're good, and you're out. And here we are. You've authored a book. You're working at an organization, international consultant.
God, was then.
Yeah, but God has been amazing to you, right? He's been doing all these miracles to your life, giving you the opportunity to do that. I'm not saying that people who are teaching now are not living their life, but you have an opportunity to learn and to change jobs and to understand a couple of things, which is good. That gives me, this gives a thought around women, right? Like how women choose careers. Sometimes they choose careers just because they want just to stay and just be wives and end there. How would you look at that in this society? Is it still a thing? Because I grew up in a house where my mom was a teacher. She retired, but I know that it's all about comfortability and then taking care of her home, and then not outgoing women who want to challenge life. What do you think about it?
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. I think the first thing is purpose. That's the whole answer to this question, purpose. You asked me how, why is the purpose coming in this? As a woman or as a man, you just have to know what's your purpose. And that purpose will give is what will define your next destination, For example, I told you I once taught. I was at this orphanage. Of course, it's a secondary school also. I was teaching. But once there, I knew that I think I love more about I love advocating. I'm more about advocacy, and I could think along the lines of advocating for what these guys were doing back then. It was in Mulanje. What they're doing. Okay, what can I do about this? I knew that. I think my purpose is about advocating for someone and bringing change somewhere. So it doesn't matter where you are. And that purpose is what going to keep you from being behind the curtains, So as a woman, if you don't know your purpose, you'll be found, you will think like it's just about me getting a job. And that job is not going to define you. It's not going to give you a sense of worth. And you think that life is just about getting a job and surviving and not thriving, That's what I mean. So as women, I think we need just to go back to the drawing board and think, what is my purpose? What do I want to achieve at the end of it? Or what do I want to achieve? Of course, sometimes it's tricky regarding how it is here in Malawi sometimes, opportunities. So you'll be like, okay, I have a purpose, but there are no opportunities. Someone can ask me that.
People can all say that. I have you guys. You're talking about opportunity because you have a job and whatever, but
I don't have it. I don't. But sometimes once you realize it, wherever you go, you find yourself fine. I've just told you that when I was coming up with the idea of writing the book, it came from my previous job experience. Because once I was going there, I was looking at the environment, I was looking at the people there, and that's what gave me the inspiration to write the book. So I knew that my purpose is about bringing change, advocating for someone,
But you see, I think what makes, in my opinion, what makes most of the women not to explore is the sense of, if I'm going to be an exploring person, I'm not going to get men, because men are threatened by independence and exploration. Let me just be a woman who stays at home, who can dream. Yes, I have my dreams, but I'll keep them. I'm just gonna support his dreams.
I'm a helper after all.
What do you think about that? I know people be like that. Those thoughts are radical feminist thoughts, but I feel like people are independent on their own. You are independent on your own. I am independent on my own. I'm independent from my wife. My wife is a person on her own. She needs to think about a career of her own. Yes, in sync with the career that we're building together. But she's a person on her own. But I feel like most women lose that. And they lose that even before they get a man. And then they don't have that sense of purpose. And becomes dangerous when they want to even think about doing something on their own. So they end up just doing business and then that's my purpose.
I'm supporting. As you said, once you go public, maybe they'll be intimidated by me. Maybe I will not get my dream man. They'll be afraid of me. So that's it all goes back to the culture of shame and what do we call this? Shame and respect. you're just afraid. You're just afraid of something that is
You haven't seen
that
it?
doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just a mystery or something.
So you're afraid of culture. You're afraid because the culture puts us in a box, you know.
Yeah.
And once they see what you're doing, they're like, "Are you going to get married? Are you going to get married? Are you going to do this?" Sometimes that's what people say, and we want to respect that. We want to honor that, and we don't want to come out and we don't want to define ourselves.
As if life is all about getting married.
It's about we think life is about getting married. Also,
Yeah.
we think life is about pleasing others. You know,
and not having your purpose and driving that purpose.
because people come with their opinions. Of course, it's good to hear them out sometimes, but you have to weigh.
You have to weigh and then think about you as an independent person. That's why I'm saying that you're an independent person. Even your sister, your parents, everyone who's around you, these are independent. They have their own life, and they need to make a decision about what will be their legacy in a way, right? So your legacy should just be a helper.
Yeah.
No. A legacy, yes, you are a helper, but you also have a purpose that drives you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think women need to strive for. I'm an advocate of gender honesty. I'm an advocate of women's rights, and I believe why we talk about women's rights is because people don't find the value in themselves, so that they keep fighting for their value, and they keep on just riding on other people's value, and they don't find themselves.
Yeah. You lose yourself in quest of pleasing others, you know. And
It is.
sometimes we tend to please people who don't even care about us, about our
We
existence.
don't even care, and when you struggle, you want to be the best person for them. You want to dress up for them. You want to speak in the line of their thoughts.
Yes.
It's crazy.
And sometimes, you know, sometimes people think just because you're a public person, just because you speak out, you're a feminist.
Yeah.
You're a radical feminist.
Yeah. I don't know why people hate to be feminist, because being feminist, in its right definition, is a person who think women deserve a chance.
Yes,
They have a right.
Have you ever read this book by Chimamanda? We should all be feminists.
Have you ever heard about that book? I'm not a good book reader.
Okay.
That's why I didn't read it probably. But yeah, but I have heard about that, that we should all be feminists. And you were talking about it. Yeah. Did you get some gems in there?
Yeah, like what you were saying just now. That we should all be feminists. Men should be feminists. Women should be feminists.
It's about rights.
Yes.
It's not about, yes, there are radicals, and you can't agree with the radicals. The radicals have their position, why they are pushing for that agenda. But you think about a person that has a right, you give them the rights.
Yes. That's what feminist is all about.
Yeah, it is. It is that. It's only that every time people think about feminist, when they're not taught, when they're not trained to understand that feminism is not about hate, it's about work together, it's about realizing the worth and saying that this is our worth and this is what it is.
Like myself, I believe that it's just about equity.
Yeah.
Equity and equality. Okay?
Yeah.
You have to if I say that Zibamba Ponde, I have to stand up.
You have to
for
stand
him.
up and talk about it, because they're also a gender, a male gender.
That's what feminist is all about. Feminism is all about. You know? Like we should all be equal. We should all know our values in the society. And also talking about the same, sometimes you know how as women we think because there are a lot of organizations that are fighting for our rights, you know, we think we have our way to the top, just like that.
Yes, it's the easiest,
and because
right?
of that, we think that we are entitled. It brings a sense of entitlement.
It's crazy.
But you have to fight for it yourself.
Yeah.
Show us what you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know even you know you're not talking about rising in an organization. You know, a while ago there used to be a line that women are encouraged to apply. Right? But now I know there's a change around that. People are saying we are an organization that an equal right kind of thing organization, because they, of course, because of so many things that are happening, people have now understood that you don't have just to say women are, because everyone,
just because I'm a woman,
because you can, even men can also be sidelined because of different things. So Interesting.
And we see the bring girls back to school campaigns.
Yes.
You know, statistics show that we have lost a lot of boys because of those campaigns.
Yes.
Because now organizations are fighting for girls' rights.
Every time,
rights,
why you forget that the men...
You see?
Come on.
And look at the suicide rates now.
Amen.
Male suicide rates.
Yeah, because they haven't found any reason to live. Because the messaging is about a man is aggressive. So when they do it, just report to this number. So it's all about like a man is being fought from all the side, right? Yes, they can be fought because of the masculinity that is there, but I think the conversation should be help them to unlearn the masculinity.
Yes, exactly.
Not to fight them because they are showing the masculinity.
Exactly.
Help them to unlearn the masculinity than just to fight, because you are just using one side of the argument, which is fight, without thinking about helping them to unlearn.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I know you're a Christian, right? And I know things about gender and all the things even fall in the church. What do you think about churches of these days? Have you ever heard about a prophet who impregnated a lady in Kasungu? Yeah, I think Kasungu.
I think so. I think.
What do you think about this? Come on, like women and men of God is a huge thing right now.
It is. I don't know what happens, but
like you guys are using, like people are using the Bible. They're talking about the Bible, and then later on, the same guy who's talking about the Bible is also praising you to do something that is against the Bible. Like, what happens there? How is the transition like?
I think they take advantage of who you are.
Yeah.
You know how these preachers, you've done theology yourself.
Yeah.
And there's an element of psychology also.
Yes.
You read somebody's mind and you know what they're struggling, what their struggles are, their strengths, and they make use of that to manipulate them. I think that's what these men of God are doing, like the one who did it in Kasungu, you know?
Yeah.
So they know your strengths and they know your weaknesses. And they come to that point where you think, this is the only one who understands me. After all, it's ordained, you know? We can't differ, we can't stand against the will of God.
Yeah.
Something like that. But it's nonsense.
Yeah, but the guy's married and then is pushing for that agenda. I remember. So I used to belong to this. Not I used to belong, but I think my mom, if I say my mom, people will know that. But yeah, well, I've said it. My mom used to belong to a church, right? And now this guy, a senior pastor, a serious tongue talker, so anointed inside, right? Like you do. You know, at
I know.
And they can tell that I'm going to do this one.
Say no more.
I know those guys, right? You know those guys as well. And guys are joking. Mulipa session ne mugabe mpera. You samatu gakaya makangari moto. Atakuona kai. Right? Those type of guys. And there's a lady who was like a lady who sees stuff, right? And then press team amata gamba yeyo intercessor press team amata gamba yeyo mazuri kunopande chipembezo chilipo. But this guy who sees stuff impregnates this lady who's a press team leader. Come on,
for real?
Yes, it's a church in Malawi, popular. And then I was like, come
What's happening?
What is happening with men and these guys and pushing different agendas? It pains me, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like men who are in suits and having these collars, white collars, take advantage of representing the deity who's God in this context.
That's
as
right.
their leverage.
That's right.
To push for a different agenda.
That's right. That's right.
I feel like if there's a place where organization can also go there to talk about different issues around women being suppressed, women being taken advantage
in the church
of.
context.
Is the church.
Yes.
Have you ever heard about this woman? My wife was telling about this woman in Nigeria who did this as song. My mom loves this song as well. Who was died?
This one, Osnatch.
And then she has died because of the beatings of the husband.
Gender-based violence,
And GBV was happening. She's a powerful worshiper. She stays in the church.
She stays quiet.
I hear that the church knew about the situation and they were just
praying about it.
It pains me.
It does.
Pains me. I feel like the church is where now that most of the abuse is there.
It's in the church, yeah.
And why? Because the church is lined from the messaging of progression, right? We're talking about so many things, feminism, and all these things about equality. The church is sidelined. People don't talk to the church. The church talks to the people.
And
That's
we
where the
find
problem
thugs,
is.
they go there and that's where they hide.
Yes.
These whole perpetrators, they go to the church and hide.
Because the church
we're not talking about
is not spoken to.
Yes.
The church speaks to the people. So they don't receive the message. They send the message forward, and they don't get the progression. If the leadership is not progressing to understand what is happening, everyone is there.
Yeah, that's right, and that's
Honestly,
bad.
I heard about that incident, and I was like, okay, let me see. Maybe churches will speak about it. And no statement from churches that I've seen that are talking about that incident as a lesson why women need to speak in church.
They don't see it. And I think one of the reasons is that nowadays, not nowadays, but in most churches, we're full of pretenders. We're just going there to show that I belong to this faith community, you know. I belong here. That you don't know yourself. You haven't defined yourself, and it all goes back to purpose, because you have to know the purpose. Why am I going there? What's the purpose? I can't be wasting my time just to showcase that I belong. You know how Sundays are. I can use Sundays to do other things, but I go to church just to showcase that I belong there. And once something comes up, I fall as a victim. Why? Because I don't know why I go there.
You're doing what you're doing. You don't know why you're going there. You don't know your value, and then you keep on dealing with people. As we're speaking, there's some men of God who are sending texts to married women right now, or even just singles, pushing them for a particular agenda now. And the guy is going to be in church speaking on Sunday. God comes back to my point. The church speaks to people, speaks to the community. People, organizations don't speak to the church.
Yes,
don't
because
tell
it's
them.
sacred.
Because of the sacred defense.
Yes.
It's like the race card, right? So they use the church card.
Yes. And then also we use the church as to threaten people. You know, you can't speak to the church like that. You can't speak to the man of God like that. You can't touch not my anointing. That kind of a thing, you know. So, it's a struggle.
But yeah, anyway, I believe things will change. You're doing the right job here. Behind Landlocked Gates is in stores. You can contact Happy. It's an amazing book. I think it's talking more about what we're talking about, even issues of gender. There's a gender minister here, the current gender minister, Dr. Patricia Kariati, is speaking about beyond, I think, politics and other things. I think these are the conversations that we need to have as a country, Malawi, but also globally, because we need to progress in life. And I think what she's speaking about here can also go in different places to motivate so many people. I'm excited about what you're doing, and I'm excited about your projects. That's why I was pushing for this for this chat. I'm excited that you were the first female on this podcast.
Woo-hoo!
This is huge.
The future is female.
This is huge. I'm excited about that, and I'm excited that I'm going to see this happening. I'm going to think about myself, thinking about even people in my school. If you can buy for some in my primary school, the primary school which I went to, I think it can help someone. But I'm excited that I had you here.
Thank you.
And there's the last question I always ask people. I think it's the best one. I know most people, podcasters, ask this one. Like, how would you want people to remember yours? Everyone, when they hear this, they feel like, I know you're a Professor Naraida. No, it's not about that, but it's about legacy. Even now, you have left. This is a legacy. Right? I don't have a book. I have videos. So if YouTube dies, no one I'm going to find it. But yeah, all I'm saying is, how would you want people to remember yours? If all these things done, everything is said and done, how would you want people to remember yours?
Okay, I want people to remember me as someone who brought a change in their lives, who brought a smile in their lives. That's why I make sure that where there's no smile, someone should smile.
Yeah.
Even though I will not benefit, but as long as they put a smile, because I know that a smile will leave a mark.
Yeah.
So I want people to remember me as someone who brought a smile on their faces.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Happiness want to bring happiness.
Yes. You just said it the way it is.
Yeah, amazing, man. Literally, I like what you do. I know you're a positive person.
Yeah.
I always follow your posts on social media. I just look at them and laugh. Sometimes I don't even comment, but I laugh because I know you always go for positive vibes, right?
Yeah.
You always believe people need to be having those vibes,
Yeah.
talking about the all this good stuff. You always want to demystify, like to remove the curtain,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And make everyone feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Now you do right. You do the right thing. And I'm glad that you're feeling okay, and I hope everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And that we're gonna witness probably another book
Yeah.
or a landmark deal with an organization. Volume 2. You talk about different stories. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Great. So until next time, this is Podcast with Magnoni. I'm happy here, who's making people happy. It's an exciting thing. I'm looking forward to the next one. Bye.